Everyone with a television set has seen, at the very least, a couple minutes of a given episode of The Simpsons. This fictional family is undeniably iconic and as recognizable as such characters as Ronald McDonald or Bugs Bunny. This show has won 37 Emmys throughout its continuing run across 35 seasons and 768 episodes, the first of which airing back in December of 1989. I have an exceedingly sporadic history with this series. I've never really been a die-hard fan, but I've always appreciated it and have certainly had my fair share of Simpsons-heavy phases. I very randomly own seasons 2, 6, 11, and 12 on DVD, though what I've revisited most throughout the years, since its release back in 2007, is The Simpsons movie. For me personally, who's by no means a certified expert in the field of Springfield and its stories, I've watched enough of this cartoon to feel confident and comfortable when stating my belief that this 90-minute movie encapsulates, then exceeds, the heart and humor contained within the show's golden age, if you like. This feature is overflowing with genuinely funny bits. The prelude, if you will, featuring an Itchy and Scratchy cartoon, is so fantastic and silly and brutal. I always get a kick out of the bit in which, after perishing in a pollution-related incident, we get a funeral version of Green Day's American Idiot, played in the band's honor by an elderly church organist. There's the brief moment of nudity, which has always killed me. The fact that it's set up through and through, like the Austin Powers bit, when Austin's junk is comedically covered up by various items, only for Bart's yellow dingling to ultimately be the only aspect of him that is visible, as every inch of his non-private area is blocked by an interestingly clipped hedge he's skateboarding past. Then there's the jarring mid-movie cliffhanger, which turns out not to be a cliffhanger, which is just genius. It's so simple and so funny. The emotional core here, funnily enough, revolves around Homer's stupidity. His relationship with each member of his family is taken to task in The Simpsons movie. Bart goes through a more than understandable phase of wishing that the genuinely kind Flanders was his father instead. Lisa, at one point, loses respect for her father. She's a big advocate of environmentalism, while her dad is the culprit who sort of destroyed Springfield via his contribution to pollution, while Marge reaches a breaking point in their marriage in regard to her ability to look past Homer's now evidently detrimental, dopey nature. The heart lies in the fact that the Simpson family bond overcomes the heartbreak, the low points that each respective relationship endures. Even baby Maggie figures actually pretty pertinently to the plot. Not only is she the discoverer of the sandbox sinkhole, which helps the family escape from a very angry mob, she also saves her brother and father from the armed antagonist Russ Cargill nearing the movie's end, said antagonist voiced fantastically by the talented Albert Brooks. This flick also manages to squeeze in so many of Springfield's eccentric residents, practically all of them at least getting a moment to shine, namely Moe the bartender, town drunk Barney Gumble, Krusty the Clown, Mr. Burns, Chief Wiggum and his son Ralph, comic book guy, Quickie Mart owner Apu, Millhouse, Bully Nelson Muntz, Reverend Lovejoy, among many others. And all of their respective implementations are fluid, working wonderfully in conjunction with the movie's narrative. The Simpsons movie sports an impressive 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was also a tremendous box office success, making over $500 million off of a $75 million budget. And yet, I still feel it to be, at least anecdotally, a bit underrated. I personally don't hear much talk about it as easily one of the best animated pictures of the 2000s. This movie is concise, exceptionally entertaining, consistently funny, as well as genuinely sweet and wholesome. And I feel as though it is the absolute pinnacle of this family's extensive media run.